right, welcome to another session of the Fragments of Silicon reviews. 4 reviews up this week, the first of which is Death of a Wish. The Neo Sanctum shall fall. Claim retribution against the theocratic faiths as you master vicious hack-and-slash combat in this action RPG where style is salvation. Right, so Death of a Wish is the second in the Paradiso series. The first of which is 2018's Luca, Born of a Dream. In fact, according to my research, this game began as a DLC pack for Luca that got blown up into its own game. It's like looking at the two side by side. Yeah, that definitely tracks, since there's a lot of similarities. But given that we never covered Luca, this is our first go with this game series, and what a game it is. Petty, I think the sound's a bit high. Or something. I'm getting explosions. Anyway, getting back on track here. So, I think the first thing that you're going to be remarking upon is the very distinct art style. Yeah, I would definitely say that this is a good chunk of the overall personality of the game. Very striking, very artistic.
Yeah, I remember playing the earlier one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like that. I will say there's nothing that looks like Death of a Wish other than Luca. It's definitely got a style all its own. And what about the rest of that style? The mechanics and the action and all that stuff. So, according to the word, I think in the bullet points here, the word Souls-like was used, or maybe I saw that elsewhere. The only really Souls-like or Soulsborne portion of Death of Wish here is the bonfire system. It's got that. You say.
Oh, it's not one of those ones where it's a Souls-like. It has dodge rolls.
Oh, you got dodge rolls here, but I'll get to that in a bit. Make no mistake, you'll be dodge rolling a lot. But
sounds Souls-like to me, then.
I'll get to it, because it's not. It's very much not a Souls.
I know, I'm kidding.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, the Soulsborne part's the bonfire system. It's pretty bog standard there. You go to the bonfire, you save, you upgrade points. Every level is an upgrade. Every level upgrades, the points values increases. We've seen this before. We've covered other games that use this system. It's a perfectly cromulent system at this point in time. Now, getting back to the combat, this goes back to my criteria of what makes, Soulsborne's Soulsborne. And that's the pace of combat. And no, absolutely not. If Petty hasn't gotten to it, no. This is very rapid fire, very fast paced. It's Devil May Cry. It's Spectacle Fighter. It's Bayonetta. It's that direction. There's nothing methodical about the moment-to-moment gameplay. The overall combat is a bit more methodical, as you can see, because, it's not just brain-dead combos necessarily to get, and the enemy dies, and you're ranked on combos. It's not fully in that Devil May Cry direction. what you got to do is you've got to weaken the enemies enough to get them in a stun state. And once you get, once they're like flashing white, or pain state, however you want to define that, that's when your shots will and hits will actually damage, and that's a pretty that's pretty universal. Like, there might be some creatures later on that have a thing different. I'll admit, I didn't play this as much as I wanted to. Chalk that up to the other game I had to cover this week. That was a hefty package that drained most of my time here. So forgiveness if there's a few shortcomings with this particular review. I do apologize. And yeah, your arsenal is, you've got a light attack, a heavy attack for a given definition of those kind of attacks. Honestly, the heavy attack isn't very heavy, because like I said, it's just full on blitz speed here. You've got the charge attack and you've got the shot attack, and you can shuffle your upgrades. Like, you can equip like different bullet attacks, and the regular attacks called arias, they can be shuffled. Like, later on, a bit through the game, you will get different elemental combat sets. I think the next, I think the yellow one is, not surprisingly, thunder based. The next one is water based. Oh, and there's also a bit of very light bullet hell in that, you got those big shots that can be reflected back. It's not technically bullet hell, but I'm kind of lacking what else to call that particular bit of gameplay. And the final piece to the overall combat gameplay is the corruption system. This is probably the biggest key to things. Because the corruption, I'll admit, I didn't get far enough to see what 100% does, but it apparently costs you some progress. And the way you fight against that is you do brutal attacks and flashy combos. That reduces your overall corruption. Corruption happens every time you die. So, that's another way that's veering off from the Soulsborne style. Currency isn't really taken from you. So they went in a different direction, which is applauded. And as far as how well everything is executed, very good. Like I said, personally, I prefer this kind of combat styling to the Soulsborne, especially when you're doing 2D stuff. I know this is top down, which makes a better transition to the more methodical Soulsborne stylings. But once again, I like my action fast and furious, and I think that matches up with the art direction. Also worth mentioning, as far as the tonality, and there are some Catholic overtones, I'm presuming. Definitely Christian. I mean, for fuck's sakes, the main character is named Christian. But I'm definitely getting a sense of the old Catholic guilt in the overall gestalt of the narrative here. Music is pretty good as well. Unfortunately, the soundtrack is not available for sale. Pity. It's definitely something I'd listen to outside of the game. And that's about it. I honestly wish I had more to say, but once again, this game kind of had to be truncated due to llamas, let's say. Weird statement, but here we are. Anyway, Petty, do you have anything to add to the conversation?
The game seems fine.
Indeed, it is. So that comes to pricing. Let me see. So the regular price of the game clocks in at $19.99. It's $17.99 on sale here. The game is available on itch.io, Steam, and the Nintendo Switch. So in case you want a console experience or a portable experience that isn't the Steam Deck, it's there. Also worth noting, the Paradiso series bundle is probably the best purchase here, with both titles in it clocking in at $14.99, which is not an insignificant discount. Though I think that's at the 10% included. So it's still less money here than the purchasing individually, from what I can see. So best to buy the bundle, because I'm presuming that the gameplay, the everything here is pretty similar, and the differences are in the fine details. But otherwise, yeah, this is a very solid game that I wish I had more time to play, which is always a good sign. And yeah, so that's about all I got here. Once again, and yeah, I think we're done here. So be sure to tune in after the break, as Petty Fan will be reviewing Pop Slinger.